Hi, Scott Tipton. I wanted to give you our weekly update from Washington. It's been a busy week. Every week we are staying focused on job creation and getting this economy moving. Over the last couple of weeks I went through many of our communities and held town hall meetings. Heard the concerns that were expressed by our folks. I walked our main streets. I saw many businesses that just a few months ago, a year ago, that were prospering, creating jobs and contributing back into our communities that are now shuttered. It is about jobs. It is about the economy. We need to get this moving, and we're fighting every day to be able to achieve that goal. Just yesterday we had two pieces of legislation, the Budget Reform Acts that went through, Pro-Growth Budgeting and Baseline Reform Act, to be able to address something that is impacting every one of us as Americans. That's at $15.3 trillion in debt. Recently, an authorization went through to add on another $1.2 trillion in debt on the backs of American people. People that are struggling to be able to provide for their families, and people that we need to be standing up for rather than bigger government for a change. That will continue to be our focus in the legislation that we'll support to be able to create jobs. Yesterday in the Small Business Committee that I chaired, the subcommittee overseeing energy, ag, and trade, we held a hearing to be able to address a deep concern of our farm and ranch community. That was where the federal government, Department of Labor, was going to step in and start making a determination on whether or not our children would be able to work with us on the family farm. We saw it very clearly, the heavy hand of government stepping forward with a failure to understand what those of us who grew up in Colorado, grew up in rural Colorado and have actually worked on farms, fully understand. In the farm and ranch community, you learn by doing. We want our children to be safe, but the federal government should not ever make an assumption that they care more about our children than we do. That was the purpose of the hearing, to make sure that we're staying focused on really what is critically important to every American. That is keeping our food supply moving. As we see more and more acres shrink out of production in this country, we all need to give a thanks to the American farmer, the American rancher, who's willing to get up early in the morning to be able to provide food to feed not only this nation, but the world. Through what the proposed legislation, or actually a rule which would have the impact of legislation of the Department of Labor, we saw government trying to inject itself into something that's worked very well for America for an extended period of time. Fathers, mothers, teaching their children the value of hard work. We directed our attention to that yesterday, and I'm pleased to be able to report to you that because of our hearing, the Department of Labor is now pulling back from the proposed regulation in regards to child labor as it relates to our farm and ranch communities. They need to listen to our farm and ranch communities, understand how the process works. It's generational. It's families, in fact it's neighbors, working together to be able to feed the American people. We had a successful hearing with great testimony yesterday. You're going to be able to go to our website to be able to see some excerpts out of that, and would invite you to be able to do so. We're going to be back in Colorado, as we are virtually every weekend, listening again to the concerns of our constituents. We'll continue to stand and fight for jobs and getting this economy moving. Thank you, and please don't hesitate to contact our office and to be able to go into our various district offices as well throughout the 3rd Congressional District. Thank you.